You're sitting in a quiet room. Nothing is wrong. No one is coming for you. And yet something inside you is bracing. Maybe it's a tightness across your shoulders, a low hum of dread with no clear source, a feeling that something, somewhere, is about to go bad. You might call it anxiety. You might call it stress. But the real answer is far stranger than either of those words suggests. What you're actually feeling is a threat detection system that was never designed for the world you live in, and it hasn't updated in 50,000 years. Your brain is not a modern machine. It's an ancient one, running in a modern world. And the gap between those two things is where most of your suffering lives. Start with the basics. Your brain has a structure buried deep inside it called the amygdala. It's small, almond-shaped, and it has one job: scan for danger. Not think about danger, not reason about danger. Scan, react, respond. The entire process happens before your conscious mind even knows something is happening. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping this system, and what he found was startling. The amygdala receives sensory information before the cortex does. Before you have a thought, your body is already preparing to run or fight. You don't decide to feel afraid. Fear decides for you. This is not a flaw. This is a feature. Or at least, it was. Go back roughly 200,000 years. Your ancestors were not sitting in traffic. They were moving across open grasslands in small groups of 20 to 50 people, hunting animals larger than them with tools made from rocks, and being hunted in return. The list of things that could kill you was long and present. Lions, snakes, rival groups, falls, infection, starvation. In that world, a brain that paused to carefully evaluate threats was a brain that got its owner killed. The brains that survived were the ones that reacted first and asked questions second. They were wired for what psychologist Daniel Kahneman later called System 1 thinking: fast, automatic, pattern-driven. A rustle in the tall grass is not a bird until proven otherwise. Assume lion. Always assume lion. That assumption kept your ancestors alive long enough to become your ancestors. And now you carry it. Here's where it gets strange. Evolution is slow. Painfully, almost absurdly slow. The environment your ancestors lived in has completely transformed in the last 10,000 years and radically in the last 200. Agriculture, cities, electric light, the internet, global communication. Your world is so different from the one your brain was built for that the two are almost incompatible. But the amygdala doesn't know that. It cannot know that. It is still scanning the modern grassland, your office, your inbox, your social feed, for lions that are no longer there. The technical term for this is evolutionary mismatch. Researcher Randolph Nesse, who co-authored the landmark work on evolutionary medicine, described it as the central puzzle of modern mental health. Your threat detection system was designed for a world that no longer exists, but it's still running, full speed, all the time. So what does a lion detector do when there are no lions? It finds substitutes. Your boss sends a short clipped email. Your amygdala reads it as a territorial challenge. Your heart rate climbs. Your palms loosen. Your attention narrows. This is not a metaphor. The same physiological cascade that would have prepared your ancestor to face a physical threat is now firing because someone used a period instead of a smiley face. The body does not distinguish between a social threat and a physical one. Research by Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA found that social rejection lights up the same neural regions as physical pain. Being left out of a group, something that would have been a death sentence on the ancestral savanna, still hurts in your nervous system like a wound, even when the consequence is just hurt feelings. The system works in reverse too. Think about what happens when you're lying in bed and you can't stop your thoughts from spiraling. One worry leads to another. A conversation you had 3 years ago suddenly feels urgent. A mistake at work becomes a catastrophe. An upcoming event turns into a disaster preview. This is your threat detection system running threat simulations. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do: anticipate, pre-experience. Run scenarios so that when the danger arrives, your body is ready. In the ancestral environment, this served you. Lying awake thinking through what might go wrong tomorrow kept you alive. Today, it keeps you from sleeping. Psychologist Martin Seligman called this prospective cognition the ability to mentally simulate the future, and argued it was perhaps the defining feature of human consciousness. But like the amygdala, it evolved in a context of genuine physical threat. When there was real danger to simulate, the simulation was worth running. When the danger is theoretical, a presentation, a judgment, a relationship that might end, the simulation still runs, and it never turns off. Your brain has what researchers call a negativity bias. The bad is stickier than the good. A harsh word from a stranger stays in your mind longer than a compliment from a friend. A single bad day can overwrite a week of decent ones. This isn't weakness, it's arithmetic. In the ancestral environment, the cost of missing a threat was death. The cost of missing a reward was inconvenience. The math was clear. Overweight the negative. Always. The brains that did this survived. The brains that didn't are not here to argue the point. But the cost of that overcalibration in a world without lions is that your system is perpetually running hot, perpetually braced, perpetually scanning, not because anything is wrong, because that is what it was built to do. And here is the piece that makes this even stranger. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. Close your eyes and vividly picture standing at the edge of a cliff. Your palms dampen, your stomach drops. Nothing is happening. You are sitting wherever you are sitting right now. But your nervous system responded to an image in your mind as if it were happening in front of your body. This is the same mechanism that makes horror movies terrifying, that makes anticipatory anxiety feel as exhausting as actual danger, and that makes a memory of a humiliation still produce a cortisol response years after it happened. The simulation is indistinguishable from the event, as far as your ancient threat system is concerned. This means that a brain built to handle real, present, physical danger is now being activated by memories, social media, news cycles, hypothetical conversations, and imagined futures. The bandwidth never closes. The lion alarm never stops ringing. And your body, your heart, your gut, your immune system pays the ongoing cost of that alarm even when the emergency is entirely abstract. Chronic stress researcher Robert Sapolsky spent decades studying this phenomenon and arrived at a conclusion that should unsettle you. The stress response that saves your life in a genuine emergency actively destroys your body when it runs for years at low levels with no resolution. Elevated cortisol disrupts sleep, suppresses immune function, impairs memory formation, narrows cognition, increases inflammation. Your threat system is not designed to run indefinitely. It was designed to spike, resolve, and return to baseline. A lion, a sprint, safety, rest. The modern version, a slow, persistent background hum of threat with no resolution and no safety, is something the system has no protocol for. So the next time you feel that low, sourceless dread, that tightening, that bracing, that sense that something is about to go wrong, you are not broken. You are ancient. You are running software written for a world of immediate, physical, mortal stakes. And that software is doing exactly what it was always meant to do. It's scanning, it's preparing, it's keeping you alive. The only problem is that you're not on a savanna, and the lion isn't coming. You're sitting in a quiet room, nothing is wrong. And somewhere inside you, 50,000 years of survival instinct is still absolutely certain that it is.